Okay, good afternoon, ladies. Today I'm going to speak to you about alcoholism, and I'm going to present to you why I believe that alcoholism is a problem within the United States that affects us all on not just a personal level, but also an economic level. So, to begin, I want to start with justification for this speech. So, why you should believe that I'm credible to speak on this speech is because I actually grew up with an alcoholic father. So, I have firsthand experience on what it's like to live with somebody that has trouble misusing alcohol. Alcoholism becomes an issue when the person that is dependent on the alcohol can no longer control their tendencies and can't drink being responsible or just drink to be socially accepted within a group or to engage in conversation, but then has a dependency in their mind or in their body in some type of way that they can't control or sustain. So today I want to propose to you that because alcoholism affects us all on multiple levels, that there should be some type of solution to the problem, and that we should be informed about what alcoholism actually is and what the economic effects are that it has on every single one of us, especially our tax dollars, and not just the individual effects of it. So to start, I want to define alcoholism. Alcoholism is a disease that is rampant within the United States and is defined as an addiction to the consumption of alcohol, liquor, or the mental illness and compulsive behavior resulting from alcohol dependency. So just some facts to kind of put on a pedestal what alcoholism really does within the United States. Alcohol is the most commonly used addictive substance within the United States, reporting that 17.6 million people, or 1 in every 12 adults, has an addiction to alcohol or alcohol misuse. And that's from the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence. From the years 2006 to 2010 alone, excessive alcohol use had led to 88,000 deaths per year in the United States of America. Binge drinking is also the foundation for alcoholism. So binge drinking has to do with drinking excessively in one sitting, specifically a 2-hour period. It's usually after 4 drinks for women and 5 for men. And it's defined technically as the consumption of an excessive amount of alcohol in a short period of time. So in order to target this disease head on, because it is a disease, because it's a dependency issue in the mind, it's not just something that people struggle with as a temptation, but more so mentally, and that's what causes it to be a disease. We have to look at the effects foundationally, and what that would be is, like I said, binge drinking, but also something that's called AUDs. AUDs are any type of alcohol use disorder. So that can be from having a craving for alcohol that you absolutely can't contain and overwhelms you and causes you to excessively drink. So this starts on not severe levels at all. And so they're very overlooked within the United States. When people think okay, I have a small alcohol use disorder, they don't think alcoholism. But essentially that foundationally is what it leads to. So I'm proposing that in order for us to target alcoholism head on, we look at AUDs, we look at binge drinking, but we also look at the economic effect that it's had on the United States. And that essentially affects all of us because we're paying tax dollars. And so within the last 10 years, the United States has spent $249 billion on excessive alcohol use in the United States, and that was reported as of 2010. So it's draining the U.S. economy. So in order to do this and comprehensively negate the effects of alcoholism, what I'm proposing we do is to create a sin tax. Now, I know that sin taxes are already on alcohol, and of course nobody wants to pay taxes, but if we put a 1% sin tax on alcohol, that would cause, which a sin tax is essentially an excise tax, a small tax, essentially a dime, I think is 1%, would allow us to have a $4 billion revenue yearly from the amount of alcohol that is sold within the United States yearly. That $4 billion I'm proposing should go to treatment centers that should be open worldwide, or nationwide, excuse me. And nationwide, we can open up treatment centers, not like Alcoholics Anonymous that are donor funded, but that are treatment centers that are funded by the United States government and hit on levels like binge drinking and AUDs, because most treatment centers right now, I'm sure you're thinking, we have 1 million treatment centers for alcoholism, but not most of them treat the surface level effects and foundational misuses of alcohol. They target the severe effects of alcoholism. They see people with the disease and they treat it, and they treat it well, but they don't treat the foundational aspects of it. And in order to hit that head on, we have to be able to hit them at their foundational level. So I want to open up treatment centers with a 1% sin tax to hit at the AUD level, to hit at the binge drinking level, and then to ultimately hit at the alcoholism level on severe effects. Now, this 1% sin tax will allow us to also, in a sense, counteract the $249 billion that the United States spends per year on alcohol by creating that $4 billion revenue. In order for us to tax the alcohol and get that revenue, we can now put all the money that's being spent on the misuse of alcohol into the treatment of it. So why is this important to you? This is important to you guys because it's this age right now that we're forming habits that we'll carry out for the rest of our lives, specifically with dangerous things like alcohol. Not only that, but economically, this affects every single one of you. Clearly, 1 in 12 adults suffer with alcoholism. So many of you, I'm sure, like I have been affected by it, by a family member, by a friend, whatever that looks like for you. So I hope you take into consideration my 1% sin tax and the idea to hit this disease head on, comprehensively, at the economic level and also the individual level. Thank you.